After 5 days in Albany, the Q30 Sports Basketball B team is back in Hampton. Welcome inside Hot Hoops. I'm Dylan Fearon along with Brian Schwartz. Chris Stacy will join us soon. Brian, how was Albany?
Oh, it was fantastic, Dylan. Amazing experience.
There's only so much arena food you can take, and there's only so many nights where you can share a hotel room with Chris Stacy, but I digress. The basketball games in Albany were very exciting, with the women's team taking the MAC championship for the second time in 4 years, their third title in 5 years. Give you a quick recap, Brian. Quinnipiac defeats Canisius in the quarterfinals, Iona in the semifinals, and Ryder in the championship game, trailing by at least 8 in all 3 of those games and coming back to win. They take the championship. They're on to the NCAA tournament. Was there any doubt they would even win the championship?
No, there was no doubt. I think the only doubt that we might have had was in the Iona game, because Lizarazu and Alexis Lewis are so talented and they're so hard to guard, and they haven't had success against Quinnipiac hasn't had success with them the whole entire season, but there really wasn't any doubt. The Canisius game, Quinnipiac is so much better than Canisius. Quinnipiac is far better than Ryder. I think we saw that at the end of the game came to play. They were just better. Adelie Martucci took her game to a whole nother level. Aaron McClure stepped up in the final championship game, 28 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. She was all over the place, and Jen Fay was all over it with the ball. She was on defense, going for loose balls, on offense, shooting the three. Carly Fabry was hitting clutch threes. So everyone was playing at their top level, and it just worked out for them.
It was a team-first mentality, and one of those individuals on that team was Adelie Martucci, who was tournament MVP, and Maury Hirschgordon caught up with her right after the final buzzer sounded.
The first Quinnipiac women's basketball player to win three conference championships. Adelie Martucci, can you put into words right now how you're feeling?
I honestly can't. This is just an unreal experience. I actually have no words to say, but the fact that I'm just proud of my team and all that we've accomplished this year. We've been through a lot of hell, and it's just so nice to come up on top and accomplish what we came to accomplish.
You came into Quinnipiac in 2012, in the fall of 2012, with Maria Napolitano. She got injured last year. How important was this championship win this year to help, avenge the one from last year?
This one was for Maria. This one was for B-John, who's sitting in that wheelchair right there. This one's for Bree, who got her career taken from her 2 years early. This is for the Bobcats that came before me, that showed me the way. This is for QU. This is for everyone. This is for everyone.
You're going dancing, but is it the last stop?
We're trying to make history. We're trying to make history. We ain't stopping here. I'm not ending my career without a win in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks, Ad. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you very much.
Brian, there were a whole cast of characters that helped Quinnipiac win this championship. You can look at Jen Fay, who hit those threes late. Sarah Schoen had a couple buckets to go in that Ryder game down the stretch. Of course, Aaron McClure, 28 points, and Paul Charbonnet. But was Adelie Martucci that X factor for Quinnipiac?
Yeah, I think no doubt she was the X factor, the tournament MVP, and she was really the heart and soul of this team. We saw throughout the latter stages of the season and into the postseason, she did everything for this team, whether it was on defense, whether it was pumping the team up. When she would hit a three with the big fist pump, we saw it 2-3 games into the tournament, and she was just the player that they would rally around, and when she got hot, the rest of the team got hot. I think she was the most important player on this team and the most valuable player, obviously. 16.3 points per game, you see that, 37 minutes per game. She played most of the game, no rest. She guarded the top player on each team and did a fantastic job with it.
Quinnipiac now will wait for its fate in March Madness. A 13 through 16 seed for Quinnipiac means a road game. If Quinnipiac can somehow get the 12 seed, they'll play on a neutral court. Really quickly, do they deserve the neutral court?
Yeah, they deserve the neutral court. They won this tournament they won the MAC by a lot, and they were at the top of the mid-major rankings for the majority of the season. They reached as high as 1 or 2 in the College Insider mid-major rankings, so I think they definitely deserve it. 23
conference games for Quinnipiac this season. They go 20-3. 2 years ago, when Quinnipiac got the 12 seed, they went 23-0. So we will see if they can get the 12, probably get the 13. But you say they deserve the neutral court, so we will see. Brian, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
When we come back after the break, Chris Stacy hops on the desk with me to talk men's basketball. Tom Moore was just fired on Tuesday. Plus, the men's basketball team had 3 straight first-round exits. Don't go anywhere. We're talking men's basketball.
All this and more
coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Emmanuel with a little cheat off the puck.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
Welcome back inside Hot Hoops. I'm here with Chris Stacy now. And Chris, unlike the women's team won the championship, the men's basketball team had an early exit. They lost on Thursday night for the 3rd straight year. Just to give you a quick recap, the Bobcats played Niagara, fell by over 15 points to get out of the MAC tournament. It's their 3rd straight first-round exit. The Bobcats are now 19-42 in the last 2 years and 34-57 in the last 3 years. But the bright spot of the tournament was Mikey Dixon getting named Rookie of the Year. Really quickly, do you think he should have been named the Rookie of the Year? Best freshman in the conference?
Absolutely. He's won 6 Rookies of the Week. He's averaged 16.5 points per game, 37% from 3. 3rd in the conference in free throw percentage. He was I think he was the best freshman in the MAC. You could say Pete Kiss was a very close second, maybe you can even say they were co-champions. Pete Kiss was 4-time Rookie of the Week, 13.3 points per game. They pretty much carried this team offensively this year. Mikey Dixon, yes, he was very deserving. Pete Kiss, I think, does deserve some recognition too. Let's not forget about him.
Both unanimous selections to the MAC All-Rookie team. And right after Mikey Dixon was named Rookie of the Year in the MAC for 2017, I talked with him right afterwards. For the first time in 15 years, the Quinnipiac men's basketball program boasts the league's top freshman. I'm joined by Mikey Dixon, who just won the 2017 MAC Rookie of the Year award. Mikey, thanks for hopping on. First of all, congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels great. I know obviously it's a great accomplishment, but I just couldn't say I couldn't done it all my teammates and my coaches. It's a great feeling.
Was this something you were aiming for all season long?
Yeah. I just wanted to, coming in, just have a good freshman year, and as I got going into the year, and I really start playing well, I'm like, hey, I can really get this award. So why not?
You're a prolific scorer, 16.8 points per game, good for 6th in the MAC. But towards the end of the season, you really put up your rebounding numbers. Yeah. Do you think that really separated yourself from guys like Peter Kiss and Stevie Jordan?
I think that did. Everyone knew that obviously, I was a big-time scorer. But, and I even had talks with coaches, like with Coach Moore, just trying to, evolve my game and just do more things, and rebounding, for my size, people will look at that and they will really be wowed by it because I'm not the biggest guy. But, if I go out there and get, 10, 11 rebounds, that'll really be noticed, being 160 pounds.
Right. Tremendous freshman campaign. What do you have to do now in the offseason after the season's over to make sure there's no freshman to sophomore year slump?
Yeah, stay in the weight room, just keep getting stronger, getting my body, now, trying to, turn my body into, older, like how the older guys are in this conference, and, just get ready, be a vocal leader, so I can, keep gaining my teammates' respect going into next year, and I think that'd be huge for me.
Mike, congratulations once again. Good luck with everything. From the Albany Capitol Center, Dylan Fearon, Q30 Sports. That was the only bright spot of the tournament for Quinnipiac, and right after the MAC tournament, Tom Moore was let go after 10 years. 0 NCAA tournaments, and we've talked about how much they've struggled in the last 2 years, and even the last 3 years. Was it justified that he was let go?
Yes. You mentioned it, the record over the past couple of years. He was 34 and 57 over the past 3 years. No NCAA tournaments appearances in the 10 years he was here. No conference championships. Some say he was dealt a bad hand. There was also Donovan Smith was out, Reggie Oliver wasn't available. But I just feel like it was time to move on. Tom Moore is a great coach. Obviously coached under Jim Calhoun.
Let me just butt in here really quickly. Yeah. Greg Amodio, the athletic director, has been brought in to make men's basketball an immediate winner. So when both hockey programs are very successful, and when the women's basketball transition from the NEC to the MAC has been seamless and as smooth as can be, and men's basketball has not, there was clearly an issue there, and a change had to be made. So I don't think Greg Amodio really wanted to fire Tom Moore. I just think he was forced to, because he was brought in to make basketball a winner, and when it's not a winner, he has to make a change.
There was also a lot of pressure under him. There was a lot of people calling for Tom Moore's job. I know you asked him the question about his job.
Even Tom Moore himself said he was concerned.
He said he was concerned. But you know, there was a lot of support for him from media afterwards. I know you and I talked a lot about how great he was to the student media here at Quinnipiac. There was also coaches from the MAC. Steve Maciel said he's a terrific coach and a terrific man after his loss in the NCAA tournament. And like I said, he didn't have Donovan Smith, Reggie Oliver. Those are two big pieces that this team did not have. Donovan Smith, he's a very good rim protector, good for about 7 points a game. And it was just a difficult season for Tom Moore. A lot of new guys, 6 new faces, 2 freshmen that pretty much led this team throughout the season. I mean, some say he could have gone another year, but you know.
No matter how good of a person he is, or how nice he is to student media, at the end of the day, this is a results-driven business, and you have to win in this business. That's exactly what he told me after the loss to Niagara. You have to win, and he hasn't won. So clearly a change had to be made. Plus, Greg Amodio wants to move up conferences to the A10, to the Big East. If you can't win in the MAC, how can you expect to go up at conferences? It's just not going to happen.
He was brought in to make men's basketball a winner. Women's basketball had a nice transition from the NEC to the MAC.
Correct.
And the men's team just did not.
Correct. And so at the end of the day, the players stay the same. You know, I think a change in the coaching staff just had to be made and was made. I think Greg Amodio's hands were tied in the situation.
Exactly.
And no matter how good of a person you are, if you can't win, you know, changes have to be made.
Exactly.
I think replacement-wise, Jared Grasso has to be the favorite lead candidate to take over for Tom Moore. Why?
Associate head coach at Iona, obviously they just won the MAC championship. He's also very good with recruiting, played here at Quinnipiac. He also is very, like I said, he's good with recruiting, not with, especially in Connecticut. He also, so I think he'll bring in some good local recruits to Quinnipiac with these facilities here. And it won't, I don't think it will happen overnight. I think it's going to take 1 or 2 years before they become one of these contenders in the MAC, but I feel like Jared Grasso would be a great fit here in Hamden.
You mentioned the recruiting. I mean, he's taken kids from Connecticut and gotten them to go to Iona over teams in Connecticut like Quinnipiac and Fairfield, both MAC teams. So he's been able to steal those kids. I think if he can come to Quinnipiac with the facilities that Quinnipiac has and get those really solid Connecticut high school players to come to Quinnipiac, and they can be successful. But what does this mean for the future of this program? You still have Mikey Dixon and Peter Kitts coming back for their sophomore year. Chase Daniels is a senior. The core is still there, even though you lose Daniel Harris, Donovan Smith, and Alan Chiga, potentially Alan Chiga. So what's the future hold for this team?
The future, it does look bright. Offensively, I think it looks bright. Obviously, you got your two top scorers coming back. You have your big man coming back. The thing that this team needs to improve on, though, is the defense. They're dead last in the MAC for defense. Mikey Dixon and Pekas, we've covered the team all year. We know they struggled on defense. They have tough, and this is a guard league. It's a guard-heavy league. You have to stop these top guards, and they just couldn't do that. There was Justin Robinson on Monmouth. There was all these guards on like Micah Seaborn. They just couldn't stop, and it's just defense is huge in this league. They were dead last. You're not going to win games when you're dead last, and so the offense is there. Defensively, they're not there. So that's the one thing they will need to step up next season. Offense, I think they're going to be fine. Defensively, they need to step up.
Quinnipiac lost their last 7 games on the season, 8 of their last 9, and really struggled to find their identity throughout the season. But one more thing on Tom Moore that needs to be addressed, because everyone wants to talk about how much he lost, and even I've talked about it, how much he has lost in the last couple of years. But he has been incredibly unlucky in the past couple of years. The 3 years ago, when Quinnipiac was in their first year in the MAC, they had the best team in the NEC if they had stayed. Go to the MAC. They fall in the semifinals because Umar Shannon, their starting point guard, their 5th-year grad student point guard, got hurt in the last home game of the season. Quinnipiac loses in the semifinals, no NCAA tournament. The next year, they have a core of Zayed Hurst, Usman Drame, Evan Conti, and Justin Harris, and they'd brought in Giovanni McLean to be the point guard after Umar Shannon, but due to transcript fraud, he was ineligible. Quinnipiac goes 15-15, no NCAA tournament. Last year, 9-21, really bad year, and this year, 10-21, but no Donovan Smith or Reggie Oliver to close out the year. They lose the last 7 games. So things happen. That happens to a lot of teams, injuries, things like that. But the Giovanni McLean thing, Umar Shannon going down, there has been a lot of unlucky things that happened to Tom Moore in the past few years.
That was the argument for keeping him. It was just like he's had all these unlucky. He's had good teams. He's just been unlucky with injuries. ineligible to play for Gio.
Right.
So I mean, that was the argument for keeping him. He's just had bad hands given to him, so that's why people are saying maybe one more year. But Greg Amodio, like you said, his hands were tied.
Hands were tied.
Had to go,
Tom Moore
had to
will
let him
find
go.
success in Division I basketball, and I will not be surprised if he makes an NCAA tournament, but it just will not happen at Quinnipiac. That's all the time we have here on Hot Hoops. For more information, check out our website at Q30television.com and follow us on Twitter at Q30 Sports and Q30 Television. Chris Stacy, Brian Schwartz, everyone behind the scenes. I'm Dylan Fearon. Have a good one.